Hey everybody, welcome back to The Pressing Matters. I'm Scott. Thank you for tuning in today, and thank you for your support. You may recognize these three albums in the background. That's because if you are watching a lot of channels, two channels have done superb reviews of these three records. They came out almost simultaneously. One is from Audiophilia, the other is from Flowering Spikes. Two channels that I really enjoy. I'm going to leave their reviews below. But I thought I'd throw my hat in the ring and give you my impressions of these three as well. Before I get started, if you are new and haven't already, please consider subscribing. We are setting a goal for 10,000 by the end of the year. I think I can reach it, but it would help if you're not subscribed to subscribe, and if you are subscribed to share the link with some others that might be interested. So thank you for doing that. I'm not going to go into the specifics of the story of the ballet and the background and the halls and so forth. I'm going to give you just a quick impression from my perspective of which is my favorite and some of the differences. One that I eliminated right off the bat was this. This is the version in the Argenta edition by Alto Analog. This is a really cool box set, but it's not known for its great sound. And, they have the suite, so it's not complete. The suite by Argenta on the one record, and they also have highlights on a 45 RPM. You would think it would be in the running, but it's not. It's just not up to the same level of sound quality as these other three. All three of these are audiophile level recordings, and done in the golden age of classical recording in the early 60s. I think 60, 61, and 63 maybe. My first one was this. This is the Ansermet and the Orchestra de la Suisse Romande. I still have the original blueback somewhere. This is the speaker's corner. I also have the ORG. And I talked about the ORG in another video. I did a Decca overview video. I'm going to leave a link above and below for that, in which I discuss the ORG of this record. And I'm going to just recount it quickly here. I had one of my peak audiophile moments listening to that record. And what I mean by that term is there are points in your audio journey where you hear something or you hear a system and you're like, wow, I didn't know that reproduced music could sound that good. And it's a transformative experience. I had it once when I was very young in an audio store, listening to, I think it was Enya Watermark and maybe John Clemmer's Touch on a planar speaker. I don't know if it was a magnaplanar, but it was a panel speaker, and I had in my mind from that point on I had to have a panel speaker, and I did finally get one. I got the magnaplanar 1.6s, and the ORG came around the same time of this record, and I remember I had a transformative experience listening to that record. It came in the second part. Of course, the first part was stunning too, but it was during the second movement that I was really like captivated, totally drawn into the music, and it never let go. And that, for that reason, this one always stands out as very special to me. It was my first love, and I had a very good experience with it, and I still do. I can put this on and enjoy every moment of it, from the beginning where you have the clapping and shouting from the male chorus to Teresa Berganza, who has a wonderful soprano parts in it, and just the wonderful lush sound of the Decca recording. It has a ravishing sound, I would say, and it's just beautiful. There's a reason that this is such a in-demand album, and this is not, I would say this is indispensable, really. It's something that every lover of this piece must have, and it's wonderful. This one is the EMI recording by de Burgos in the Philharmonia. This features Victoria de Los Angeles. She is, out of all three of these sopranos, she is the best. There's no doubt about it. And she's recorded a little bit better than either of them. On the Ansermet, she's a little, the soloist is a little distant. Now, I've never read the score. I don't know how to read a score, so I'm not sure if that is indicated that that voice should come from a distance or not, but it does on the London Decca. On this one, it's more in tune with the audience, with the orchestra. She sounds lovely on this, just beautiful. This one has much cleaner sound at a bit more of a distance. Each instrumental line is clearly in space. You can hear everything. The playing is top-notch, just beautiful. I think the ensemble is the best on this record. The flavor, the atmosphere, you want to get that Spanish atmosphere. It's here in abundance. De Burgos does a wonderful job with it. The engineering is a little on the polite side, where the Decca is a little more full-blooded kind of sound, but this has the more Spanish feeling to it overall. And there's a couple of minuses on this one for me, besides the surfaces. This is a record that when I bought new, I didn't play right away. And when I dug it out years later, I realized that it was plagued with ticks and pops, and I've been working to get it quieter and quieter, and I finally got it to a reasonable level, but it's not where I would want it. So that was one factor, but I'm not including that factor in this discussion. Another thing about this that put me off initially was the fast tempo. Right off the bat, you're in a rapid tempo, and if you're used to the Ansermet, you're going to be like, oh, this sounds so strange. Once I got used to that, I was completely fine with it because the interpretation won me over. The thing that kind of drags this down at the beginning for me is the chorus. I'm used to the men shouting out, ole, ole, and this is children. It's kids or young boys, and it just sounds weird to me. I don't know what was called for in the score, but I guess if you heard this first, this would be what you expect. I particularly like the intro on the Ansermet. I think it sounds fabulous, and the castanets sound great. I mean, both of them are fine. But yeah, one is a more refined. It has a couple of minuses there and a plus with Victoria de Los Angeles. The other is more ravishing sound and maybe a little less Spanish interpretation, but has the wonderful opening of the men stomping and shouting. And I love that too. So that leaves us to this one. The Everest is a label that I collected a lot of their early pressings. They're all pretty bad. The later ones are even worse. The only ones that are worth your time in original pressings are, in my opinion, are the magenta ones like this. And that's what Classic chose to use when they reproduced this. They may have been onto that label by then. There was a green and a blue and silver label. That was the original. They're kind of fun to collect, but they are terrible. And the later orange ones, forget it. They got cheaper and cheaper and just like destroyed these recordings. This is probably the best this is ever going to sound, and it's a great recording by Bert White. It sounds great. It's very spacious with huge looming images and great sound overall. I eliminate this one from the running though. It just doesn't strike me as involving as the other ones. It seems episodic. It's just like I don't get swept up in it for some reason. I can admire its sonic qualities. I can admire the playing. Barbara Howitt is the soloist here. I don't really like the style that she sang this in. I like the more elegant style of Victoria de Los Angeles and Teresa Berganza. The male chorus sounds great. It's very similar to the Ansermet. It's a great recording. If you have this one, you're good. But if you love this piece, you probably want to pick up one of the other ones. My personal favorite overall is this one. I love having both of these though, for those different reasons. And it's such a wonderful piece for beginners. If you are just getting into classical, definitely check out the Three-Cornered Hat. You will love the Spanish flavor and all the fun dance movements, and just top-notch playing on all three of these. Lovely, lovely sound, and great way to start your collection of the early 60s classical recordings, which are the very best. And so that's all I got to say about that. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks to Flowering Spikes and Audiophilia for prompting me to throw my hat in the ring on this title. So we'll see you next time. I'm Scott for the Pressing Matters. Have a great day.